So Arman Tsarukyan is going to be good, though. It's going to be an amazing fight. And Los Angeles always.
Let me take my fourth swing at it. Apparently fourth time is a charm. Arman Tsarukyan will be taking on Ruffy.
More than likely, he's going to get taken down. Arman Tsarukyan, especially in Los Angeles, right, with the massive Armenian community, right, he's going to have a lot of support in the building.
Like, this fight is not even going to be competitive for a moment. Arman's just going to run his ass over. So, like...
Yeah, I think Arman just manages to take him down, elbow him so that he gets a submission.
The UFC just did the unthinkable. Charles Oliveira was supposed to headline UFC 331 against Arman Tsarukyan. Then, out of nowhere, the name changed. Not Oliveira, not Justin Gaethje. Mauricio Diamond Hands Ruffy, 7 different broadcasts. 7 different reactions. One shockwave. Here's what the entire MMA world is saying about this fight and why it might already be over before it starts.
Yeah, I think Arman just manages to take him down, elbow him so that he gets a submission. That's what I see happening, but you know, it's a fight, anything can happen. I'm not betting the house, guys, don't worry.
Beat Ruffy. Like, Arman's going to be able to get him down and do the same thing, I think.
But Ruffy has been,
styles make fights,
he did change up his old training camp. He left the fighting nerds.
That's true.
Australia, has been training with Volkanovski. And Volk, I had spoke to him about it. He said when he first came, he was hard to take down, but once he was down on the ground, it was easy to keep him there. He goes, now he's really hard to hold down. So he's definitely making changes, you know, and making some big adjustments. So maybe it'll be more exciting than we think. And Arman, you know, he's been wrestling and stuff, but it's different when you've been out of the cage for this long.
Picture perfect. Sniper. 2 words nobody expected for a wrestler. But it's not just the panel talking. Ask the man who covers this division for a living, and the answer is even more brutal.
He is gonna absolutely run roughshod over poor Mauricio Ruffy. Like, this fight is not even going to be competitive for a moment. Arman's just gonna run his ass over. So, like, to me, I'm just like, okay, Arman pretty much, unless he slips on a banana peel and gets caught, he is going to fight for the lightweight title next. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to lose my freaking mind. The other part was like, oh, everyone was reporting it was Charles Oliveira. And from what I understand, Charles was the name that was kind of on the list, but the reports that were out there were saying, like, this is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a done deal. I'm here to tell you, that was never the case, at least from the conversations I had. On the table being discussed, but basically the responses I was getting in regards to this fight were TBD, TBD. And then they went with Ruffy, and it's just like, I was like, oh, this is unexpected. And the response I got was like, well, people like to put the cart before the horse.
Not competitive. That's the story everywhere, except from the one man who actually has to walk into that octagon. Ruffy sat down in Brazil, and when the questions turned to Tsarukyan's ground game, his answer wasn't fear. It was a warning.
Para esse pessoal que tá preocupado com esse setor do grappling, como é que você pode dizer assim, pessoal?
Ah, tem que ficar preocupado mesmo.
Quem tem que ficar preocupado é ele.
Tem que, na verdade, pô, né, eu acho que eu não volto, né, nesse ponto. As pessoas já tentaram falar bastante sobre isso, quando eu lutei contra o Sedenich, de ter perdido a luta, né, ter caído e tudo mais, né, mas, tipo, eu não tenho essa...
He's the one who should be worried. Bold words from the underdog. But while Ruffy talks confidence, the entire UFC media machine is asking one bigger question: how has this man not fought for the title yet?
The biggest news, though, Arman Tsarukyan is on this card. And this is big news because he spends a lot of time in LA. There's a huge Armenian population in LA. It's a no-brainer. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Arman versus Justin. Not going to happen. Too quick of a turnaround for Justin. All right, Arman versus Charles BMF. Not going to happen. It's Arman Tsarukyan against Mauricio Ruffy in a fight no one saw coming. I'm happy Arman's fighting. I'm happy he's staying active. The wrestling thing is great, but like, all right, we got to get back to MMA. Ruffy's ranked 7th. I'm told, Arman was told by the UFC brass, he wins this fight, he's getting a title shot. I'm told Justin Gaethje is not fighting for the rest of the year. I think Gaethje fights again, period. Had a big fight in June, not fighting the rest of the year isn't that big a deal. I certainly don't think there should be an interim title fight.
a crime, and now the UFC has planted this fight in the one city built to make it personal.
Right? But if Arman Tsarukyan beats Mauricio Ruffy, and I'll say it early, right? He probably will. He'll probably just do what Benoit Saint-Denis did. Mauricio Ruffy, he's awesome to watch. I mean, look at that spinning wheel kick over Bobby Green, right? It was phenomenal, but more than likely, he's going to get taken down. Arman Tsarukyan, especially in Los Angeles, right, with a massive Armenian community, right, he's going to have a lot of support in the building. That's why he's on the card. That's why he was fighting Islam Makhachev there, right? He's probably going to ragdoll him, but he's going to have to make some noise on the microphone because Ali said for Justin Gaethje, it's only going to be a big fight, okay? Is that a big enough fight? Well, some might argue that that doesn't even matter, right? Because he's the #1 contender, and when you're taking out prospect after prospect, and you're beating people like Mauricio Ruffy, who's up there in the rankings, then he deserves it, and I agree.
A hometown crowd, a #1 contender spot, and a booking that caught even the insiders off guard the second it dropped.
Let me take my fourth swing at it. Apparently, fourth time is a charm. Arman Tsarukyan will be taking on Ruffy. Now, I love it. I gotta tell you, I had some problems with the Charles match. I had some problems just because I've seen those guys fight. I've seen them before. Then there was talk that there was going to be no BMF. They're going to move to 5 rounds. Like, we were very close with some of the information that we had. And we got the 5 rounds down, for example. It does appear to be a true #1 contenders match, but this is a very big deal that Arman and Ruffy are now off the board. It's a very big deal. I mean, the big question of what is next for Justin Gaethje. And we're not going to know what's next just by listening to Justin, but if that's what we're going to take for now, for our clues, like by example, Justin says, I'm not going to do any rematches. Now, that doesn't actually mean that he won't do a rematch, by example. But let's operate under that. If he's not going to do a rematch, Ruffy was a legitimate possibility. Tsarukyan, very clear #1 contender. So now if you're not doing rematches, you're taking Paddy off the table, you're taking Max Holloway off the table, and you're taking Ilia Topuria off the table. Does that open the door to Usman Nurmagomedov? Yeah. It opens a couple of doors, but yeah. Now, the reason I don't have a level of confidence in telling you that Gaethje is going in the direction of Usman, the reason I don't have a confidence in telling you that, these decisions were made prior to Usman being a free agent.
Off the board, and already eyes are turning to what comes next. Because if Tsarukyan does what everyone expects, the street talk has already started.
We were all expecting Arman Tsarukyan. If I'm being honest, guys, Arman Tsarukyan told me in Abu Dhabi it was going to be him and Oliveira. No BMF title. It was going to be him and Oliveira fighting in Los Angeles. And Arman just told me he just wants to continue to fight to essentially make himself undeniable because he wants a title opportunity. Yesterday we got that he's fighting against Mauricio Ruffy. That's a dangerous fight with not as much upside because Ruffy, while he is good and while he did have that great win at the White House, he doesn't have the name value as Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan saying yes to this fight, I believe, strengthens his case over anything. The one thing that made it hard for Arman to get the title shot that so many people feel he deserves is because of the way the last fight that he was scheduled with Islam went down. But now he's saying yes to everybody and everything under any type of fighting situation. That makes you the guy that everybody wants to work with. Now, it's unfortunate because we would have loved to see him and Oliveira have a rematch. The first fight was tremendous. Arman actually hit a fan on the way to the octagon. But unfortunately, Charles's teammate passed away. And that's why I believe, at least, that we're not getting that fight. Because, you know, obviously those guys down there, Oliveira and them, their team, they're all so close. So I think that's why we're not getting the Charles fight. So Arman Ruffy is going to be good, though. It's going to be an amazing fight. And Los Angeles always has great fights. Obviously, the main event is Pantoja back to challenge Joshua Van. I cannot wait for that one.
One fight, 7 takes, one brutal consensus. Arman Tsarukyan is favored to walk through Mauricio Ruffy, and a title shot could be sitting right on the other side. But Ruffy didn't come this far to fold. On fight night, only one man walks out with the answer. Which side are you on? Drop it below, and don't skip this one. It could be the last stop before the belt.